On March 11, 1941, our government passed the Lease Act for the betterment and defense of our country.
Sufficient to manufacture additional munitions and war supplies of many kinds to be turned over to those nations which are now in actual war with aggressor nations. Our most useful and immediate role is to act as an arsenal for them as well as for ourselves. We shall send in ever-increasing numbers ships, planes, tanks, guns. That is our purpose and our pledge.
Due to the overwhelming popularity of the act, there is no questioning its benefits to the United States. Due to Roosevelt's desires for our country to stay neutral during this dangerous war happening in Europe, the Lease Act was signed to help our allies, Britain and China, in the fight against Germany and the Axis. We will be supplying them with weapons, defenses, and whatever else they may need. We do not want to enter the war and jeopardize the status of the United States, but we as a country in the Allied forces want to assist our fellow nations as much as possible. It is inevitable that we will be spending large amounts of money supplying our allies with necessities, but it is something that we must engage in to preserve our status of neutrality. By helping our allies, we will be increasing their chances of winning the Second World War, and hopefully allow countries such as Britain to hold the Axis off until we must intervene. We all know that the Axis is a powerful opponent. We must do all in our power to maneuver the Allies toward victory. Unfortunately, not every citizen supports this act. We have already seen opposition from isolationists. They have the idea that this act is the equivalent of a declaration of war to Germany, but it is no such thing. We are only trying to win the Second World War in the least violent way possible. We cannot let the Axis overpower us, or else our economy and the economies of our allies will be damaged. It is apparent that this act will let the Axis know that we are not on their side, but hopefully we will be able to maintain our neutrality. Another reason that this act is being opposed is because of our recent recovery from the Depression. The act's opponents think that we should keep our materials instead of giving them out, and that the cost to make these materials will only advance our debts from the last World War. However, our President has carefully assessed this act so that it will not be harmful to the United States. In addition, the act's opponents are saying that Britain does not possess the power to defeat Nazi Germany, even with our help. Roosevelt stated that the United States would become an arsenal of democracy, and we believe that our help will be substantial to the Allies' victory. The President has developed a two-part plan to ensure the success of the act. We will look like we will send aid to anyone who needs it, but we will actually decide carefully about what countries to assist. Secondly, our President desired a bill that would let him have power over what would be sent, where it would go, and what form of repayment our allies would use. This bill is patriotically called H.R. 1776. With this bill and the confidence of the United States, we will not let the doubts of this act turn into reality. Our government knows that if the act continues to be as successful as it already has been, it will definitely help Britain be victorious over Germany. The Lease Act does have risks, but it is a benefit for America rather than a drawback. This act does not violate our Neutrality Act, and Roosevelt believes that it will be extremely helpful for all of the countries that we will give materials to. We do not want to get involved with a European war, but we also do not want to sit back while our allies get defeated. With the Lease Act, we can support our allies without harming ourselves.